What is happening, everybody? Josh here from Spawn Flyfish, and we're back with another tying tutorial. Again today, showcasing the Spawn Polliwog Tail and the versatility of this product in both small and large flies. So get your materials and let's get on the vise. Alright, in the vise we have an Ahrex SA280 size 8. And today what we're continuing on our last video one of the last videos that you might have saw, is really getting the most out of every Spawn Polliwog tail and just really showcasing the size range that you can go. So I have a little bit of a tag end, you could say, of a tail that I use for a longer fly. And what I want to do is make sure that I get the most out of every Spawn product. And if there's a taper here, which you can see the taper, then you're still going to get movement. If you just have this little nub here, it's not worth tying in. But when you get a little bit of a taper here, this water is going to saturate into the material here, and you're still going to get some of that movement that we love in this product. And today, that's what we're going to showcase on a really small little baitfish fly. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to throw some thread wraps. We got a Danville flat wax thread in white. We'll look for my scissors and snip that off. All right, and then the first thing we're going to do here is tie in this Polliwog tail. And these things are very durable. This is a saltwater hook. You can definitely use this for saltwater species. This is gonna withstand a bite. So as you can see, this is gonna be a really small little fly. And that's what we want. We're showcasing that you can tie big stuff with this for tarpon. These have been exceptionally popular for tarpon. But we're going to dumb this down, and you can use this for other game species here, especially in the Pacific Northwest. I'll use this for cutthroat. Alrighty, next material. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. I was talking. This Veevus body fuzz here in pearl. This is a little chenille that comes spooled up from Veevus. Works as a great filler here, and we're going to give some more movement to the body of this fly will be what we're utilizing there. Next material that we're going to get in here is the Ista minnow belly, and this is just a great little dub. You'll see it in many of our patterns here at Spawn Flyfish and many patterns from other tires around the globe. Alright, so the important thing we want to do here is make sure we don't crowd this eye. It's not going to be the end of the world. It is a saltwater hook, so it's got a big eye that you'll still be able to get your mono or fluoro through, but just be mindful of that. We're just dubbing our thread and working it back. It does not have to be a perfect taper here. You don't have to see this body of that polliwog tail and match it. This chenille is really going to encompass that whole thing, as well as another material that we'll add at the end. So don't worry if it's a little bit hollow. That is totally fine. Dubbing a little more. Try and keep that chenille out of the way, and we'll work our way back up. Yahtzee. Alrighty, so far so good. Alright, now we're going to take that body fuzz and we're just going to work our way up the fly here. Just a couple wraps. Add a little more movement here, and we'll lock that down. Sweet. Just cleaning that up here for the camera, make it look nice and pretty. We got a couple little long ones here. I don't want that to protrude farther than the tail, so I just went in with my scissors and nipped that off. Alrighty, next material. As you can see, the body's pretty much done. Next material we're going to use here is some Senyo's laser dub in white. And this is a soft dubbing, so it's really going to just bring this whole thing kind of together and hold it all in place. It is a great material for that. It'll have a little bit of a translucent effect. There's some grass in there. I guess that's what happens when you take some tying materials outside. But we're going to go here and loose wrap, tight wrap, and bring that in. So this is a soft dubbing. So we, again, like the body fuzz that we put in here, we don't want it to protrude farther than the tail. We want that tail to have the movement. So what we're going to do here is we're going to veil it back. And again, it's going to bring all of that together. But this dubbing, you'll be able to just come in with your fingers, pluck apart, so that that tail is going to get the most out of that retrieve that you're going to have when fishing this fly. Do a little look on your side. So far, so good. Alrighty, a couple more materials and we are done. So I like to have a little bit of accent on any baitfish pattern. So I'm going to take some golden burnished tan, Marabou, and I don't need a ton of fibers here. That's too many. Perfect. And we're just going to tie those in on top. You could reverse tie these in at this point. I'm just going to tie them in straight on top. Really easy. And these will go about the distance of that tail. These are going to have a ton of movement as well, so don't worry too much about that. Get those wraps in there without crowding the eye. And again, remember this is a saltwater hook, so if you're tying it on a freshwater hook with a smaller eye, you're going to need to be a little more mindful. Or again, like I said, you can reverse tie that in. All right, it's looking good. Just do a couple cleanup wraps there. And we will whip finish, but we're not done quite yet. All right. Next thing we're going to do here, as you've seen me do in the past, I'm going to turn it on its side. This is going to give me a good foundation to push into the shank of the hook. I'm going to take my super glue here, and I have a living eye in 4mm. Hopefully you guys can see this at home. Just going right behind that last piece of thread. I don't need a lot of super glue. And being mindful of my fingers. You can get your bodkin out right here if you want, and then just hold it there. So I'm just going to hold it there for a couple seconds. I'll turn it to you so you can see that. I'm just pushing in on the shank there and really giving that glue something to grab onto. Just a couple seconds is good. As you can see, that's going to hold it there. But again, recommend when you're doing this at home, hold it here, turn it sideways so you have something to push down into instead of squeezing in. I just found that to be a lot more helpful. But if you got your own way of doing it, it is fly tying, where everybody's got their own style. And I would argue that there's a million ways to accomplish the same thing. Alright, one more eye here. And I'm pushing in. Before I push in too much, I'm going to make sure that I line these eyes up a little bit. That's just the OCD, not going to really impact the fishability of that. So I'm just giving it a little overhead look there. Make sure those eyes are in a similar place. And then I'm going to turn it back sideways where I can push down on it. Alright. Looking good. The last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some Loon UV fly finish, and I'm just going to coat this top and bottom here and then hit it with a little UV light, and we are ready to tackle some fish. Alright, it's coming out nice and slow, so bear with us here, but I can see it coming. I'm going to ease off the pressure as it gets close. I don't need a lot of this, just a little bit to even that out. Sweet. Alright, got my torch. And that should do it here. Doesn't need a lot. Really, really simple little fly here. Again, utilizing the movement in these Polliwog tails in a micro bait fish. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe, find all these materials on spawnflyfish.com, and we will see you guys next time.